Tsunami yangu soma wamo wewe Esinga yangu yekumbo indima Bani temerembe wanyolo.
Mamfe is the capital of Manyu Division. It is at the head of the navigation of the Cross River and about 50 kilometers east of the Nigerian borders. It is also located 160 kilometers north of the Gulf of Guinea. The name Mamfe comes from the Bayangi language. It is said that when the Germans arrived the area via the Cross River, they met a local man who was carrying sand and asked him where they were. The Mamfe man didn't understand them and also said in his dialect, Mamfimfa, which means, where should I put it? The Germans heard it as Mamfe and named that area Mamfe. After the Germans left Cameroon, the English even established more contacts with Mamfe. Mamfe was a very important town for the British, who were the administrators of the British Southern Cameroon through the eastern region of Nigeria. It was one of the fastest growing towns south of the Mongol. Its port activities had developed with warehouses spread everywhere. It was the center of trade with Nigeria. John Hoyt, the British shipping company, was the main economic booster of Mamfe in the 50s. Many people traveled to Mamfe for economic reasons in those days.
Before the 1960s, the town was a very vibrant town because it was a border town and a river port city, which had the Cross River port, which was very vibrant. That is where a lot of goods came from Nigeria especially and from other places. So if you go down the street exactly, this John Holt, where we are, at the matter of fact, the name John Holt is the name of the big British company, which was a shipping company. They still have their warehouses down there right now. It evolved from the 50s and the 60s until the early 70s.
During the preparation of the British Southern Cameroon for independence, Mamfe was host of many important independent conferences. Though the Mamfe Independent Hall has become home for animals today, with hawkers hanging all around for petty trade, the importance of this monument will never be less spoken about in the independence of the English Southern Cameroons. It is here that history refers to the hall that the Mamfe conferences were held.
Well, one of the most important things to understand about Mamfe is that this is where the whole independence debacle unfolded in this town. Where the 1959 Mamfe conference took place is an old building which is right behind me, about 100 yards from here. And that whole concept of independence and reunification took place here in this town.
It is not just the fall of this hall that hit Mamfe. A lot has changed in Mamfe since the 60s. The developing town got stuck after unification. The main reason was that Southern Cameroonians had voted for plebiscite in favor of union with the French-speaking part of Cameroon in the east that was being administered before independence by the French. So Mamfe was not an important venue anymore because the administration was now in Yaoundé in the east and not from Enugu, from the eastern region of Nigeria that the British used in administering the Southern Cameroon.
If you take on developmental profiles, this town is supposed to be more developed than neighboring towns like Kumba, Bamenda, and what have you. One, you can say border town to Nigeria, which is next door. To live from where we are sitting right now to the borders at a cost 45 minutes drive. No other town in Cameroon has that kind of privilege. If you live from here to Ikom, which is the first big town in Nigeria, in less than an hour, and imagine the profile of that. It gives you a lot of leverage in terms of economic development.
With Mamfe falling to this disadvantage, its elite had to focus towards links with other towns of Cameroon. The port activities died down. Its value as a crossroads town died down, and the Manu man had to divert into other activities.
A lot of them spend their time at the beach, offloading little boats that come from Nigeria with a few loads that they can carry on, little engine boats and all that, and that's about it. The rest of them are engaged in clapping for ruthless politicians who don't bring them anything but a little food and drinks. That's about it. It's nothing. There are no industries here, there's no factories, there's no lights, there's no water, there are no roads, so life is basically stagnant. And the only reprieve that you have, if you have one, is to clap for some politician who lives outside of this place, this Mamfe division, and comes here every once in a while with a truckload full of little accolades to give you a better clap for them. If you don't, you're dead.
The man from Manu is very important amongst Anglophone Cameroonians. They have a very educated elite and lead in many activities in Cameroon as a whole. They are the leaders of oil and gas, engineering, education, and even politics. But seemingly back home, this doesn't reflect who they really are.
The Manu people in general, I'm talking about the Manu people in general, have not done a lot, have not done much to that respect. In that respect, because the Manu man has this whole concept that they can only invest outside of Manu division, so it has not been very productive for several decades now. That's the truth of the matter. Because if you look at the production parameters inside Manu division, it's very limping as opposed to the investment of Manu people in other parts of the country. It has been limping. And I have gotten, as a researcher, as a political analyst, found out that it's all political. The Manu people have this convoluted opinion of themselves that it should be individual, everything should come to you. So you don't want Rich Manga or you here to benefit from the largesse of everybody. It has to be you. That is why annotated titles are very rife in Manu division, professor this, doctor that, and all that, and there's nothing to show for it. Nothing to show for it.
The many warehouses of the John Hoyt Shipping Company and others are still existing with little or no activities today. The port activities have died down with just minimal trade with Nigeria compared to back in the days.
Now the warehouses are there. A lot of them are empty or being occupied by false prophets. And all this little proliferation of all these charismatic churches that go ahead and instead of having anything profitable for people are fooling people to take the little resources that they have in terms of delivering them from witchcraft and all that kind of stuff. You know, the warehouses could be refilled and revamped. And I think the biggest problem we're having right now is the fact that individuals have not yet changed their mentality and leave government intervention alone.
Mamfe still has great potential despite the death of its port activities. Mamfe is a heavyweight producer of palm oil and kernel, banana, cocoa, coffee, hardwood, and even rubber. But like in many other parts of Cameroon, the private sector has not yet developed.
There are a lot of potentials. Investment, nobody's investing. There's no industries here. No industries. There is so much that can be done. Go to raw materials.
That's what I want. What do you have?
Raw materials, there's so much. If you go to agriculture, Manu Division has specifics. Oranges, coconuts, you name it. These are specifics for Manu Division. Nobody's processing it. So it has gone back to the point where the Manu orange and the coconut have been dwindled down to little personal consumption instead of a commercial consumption. If you stand here within a few hours, you will see truckloads of oranges coming from Nigeria to come into Cameroon. I find that extremely preposterous for a place that has oranges as a staple and for a very long time. And for a very long time it has oranges as a staple. I find that preposterous. People should be able to take advantage of the potential that they have. No industries. I don't expect government to do anything. I expect our people to be educated psychologically. Unfortunately, each time that you bring bright ideas to propagate that type of opinion, you are stereotyped. The private sector is basically dead. Nobody develops with government intervention. It's private sector. Nobody wants a free market economy. Everybody wants government dependency. And
The major reason for the fall of Mamfe after independence was roads. For 50 years, Mamfe didn't have a good road linking it to the rest of Cameroon. People used days from Mamfe to Bamenda in the northwest region, which is just about 400 kilometers, and from Mamfe to Kumbar in the southwest region, too, was another nightmare. The good news is that a third road linking Mamfe and Bamenda exists today.
that road is a dream come true. It has done so much so far. Can you imagine that we go to Bamenda and shop and come right back? It's an hour and a half, 2 hours, maximum 2.5 hours. You end up in and come back. It used to be a minimum 3 days trip when the road was not yet there. Although the road itself physically is not anything to write home about in terms of its structure, because there's so many bends and it's so narrow, it's still better than it was before. And it gives the Mali people a certain leverage to interconnect with the rest of the country, since the Mamfe road is basically blocked.
The Bamenda Mamfe road that has been done has been like a blessing to Mali man, because I want to look at the Mali economy as an economy that has just changed drastically because of the coming of the road. When we look at it in terms of communication, we see that it has easy the people's movement from Mamfe to Bamenda, and an easy transportation of goods from Mamfe to Bamenda and Bamenda to Mamfe. It is very possible that a businessman can sit here in Manio or in Mamfe and communicate Bamenda, communicate Douala, any other part of the country, and goods will easily pass through Bamenda and enter into Mamfe. And that one is a success. It's worth appreciating. I also want to look at the people, the indigents, or the people in the town itself that they are benefiting so much from the road. Because if we compare the food stuff that we have today in the market, it's more than that which was before now. Because most of the foods consumed come from Bamenda. Ingredients, tomatoes, pepper, and all other things. Carrots come from Bamenda. These are things we hardly go here in Mamfe. But today you can easily go to the market and have them in great quantity. A quantity of tomato you buy today for 100 francs is more than the one you used to buy for 200 francs in those days. But because of the fact that the road has linked Bamenda and Mamfe, this tomato is easy to enter in great quantity and they sell to in great quantity to the consumers. I also want to look at this road as something that is fostering great development in Mali. If you look at the Bamenda, there is a condemned ground to Mamfe. Look at the forest that has been existing there. You can hardly find the forest still as it was. Who are dividing the forest in order to now come up with crops which can sustain the town. And if they are doing this, it is because they are able to move and go to this town. But in those days when the roads were blocked, people did not even know that they can one day go to explore those areas. But today people are fighting over land just because they want to do planting. They want to plant cash crops. Farms are full all over Miami. Cocoa is there. Many people are entering the forest now just because they have the means of transporting these goods to the market, the means of transporting the seeds to the farms. The benefit of Mamfe Bamenda is that since we have had that road, the transport fare has been so cheap and easily get to Bamenda. For the customers, the prices they have dropped, and the customers who have reduced. The turnover is now very slow because most customers prefer to go and buy in Bamenda than to buy in Mamfe. At times they even buy at the same cost in Bamenda, but they prefer to buy there because they think that is cheaper in Bamenda. Coming back to the town itself, if you look at the face of the town has radically changed. If you look at buildings that they are putting up today, I want to think that it is thanks to the road. Because the materials that are entering the town, which are used for construction, in those days they could not enter. Somebody who has targeted an upstairs building, 3-story building, 4-story building, could not easily construct it easily because the materials to enter the town and he uses them was a taboo. But today it's very easy for those construction to take place. It's very easy for any type of material to come into existence. Many people are even entering. Today we hear of Kajika. Yes, Kajika. That's a fish. In those days, man, you eat fish, you take from here to Kumba, you take to Bamenda. You have to move from one place to the other. No, this one has come to make people and feel very comfortable. Very comfortable. The town itself is neat. Thanks to the town of the road. People are neat. Thanks to the town of the road. I can live from here and dress in the suit. And go to Bamenda. I will fill the occasion with the suit. But in those days, I will move with bags of clothes, bags of shoes. Because along the road, I will be changing the clothes. Either because of moss or because of the dusty nature. But all these now are all stories. So I want to think that the roads have not created any negative impact on us. Instead, I see more prosperity, except sometimes, in a way, people look at things in a different way. Like a businessman, some business people may today think that the road has instead come to humble them because there are things that they used to sell. Now that other business people can go and bring them and say at cheaper rates, they are now selling them out of the business. But if they try that one, I want to think that every development really have a small effect on other person. Even the road itself, when it was coming, people cried because they had to cut the construction. So when the development comes, it will affect one person or another, but the majority of the people will benefit. And I want to think that we are benefiting.
There is even a better reason for the Mamfe dweller to smile. The Cameroonian government has secured funds from the African Development Bank to construct the Kumba-Mamfe and the Mamfe-Ekok highways. The building of the Kumba-Mamfe road is the end of the long nightmare of the Mamfe man. It takes about 5 hours to drive to Mamfe from Kumba in the dry season, a distance that should be about 1.5 hours in the rainy season. It even takes days. Time has come for Mamfe to pick up from where it stopped. It has influential and very strong elite. There is definitely going to be a boost in the town of Mamfe in the following years if all that goes well is well.